Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. We've been on the road for a lot of time, and we've been seeing some of our incredible offices across the country. And today, we're back where it all started here in Norfolk, Nebraska, with Tom Schueth, my long partner, kind of brother from another mother type of a deal. But I partnered with Tom and Mike in 2003.
A few, 18 years ago?
20?
Short.
No, it's 20. It's 2000.
Okay, I can't add very well this morning.
Can you think
20
about
years
that?
ago.
20 years ago. We've got so many stories of us going back. I remember whenever I partnered with you, you guys tried to convince me to Norfolk, and there was about 2 feet of snow on the ground, kind of like today. And I was like, no chance, man. I'm going to move to Dallas. And but man, it's been amazing, our partnership. It's amazing how far we've come. Seeing how far you all have come in Norfolk and at Premier. We actually even have another office here in Norfolk with Wealth Firm.
Yep.
And some of the things, it's just so fun to be back home here, really, for me, because you walk in, you have so many familiar faces. And we've been traveling across the country just to kind of look at how do we share best ideas, best practices, and really how do we all come together, which is how we started Integrity in the beginning.
Yep.
In 05, 06 was, what if we all came together, we could all accomplish more. So, man, it's been a crazy ride, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been outstanding. And it truly is amazing when we think back to the past. And my math obviously was not good this morning, but 20 years is a long time. And if you think about it, way back then, we had a puzzle. It was this office. It was one piece. Yeah. And then we expanded that puzzle to 2 pieces out of the Dallas office. Yeah. And then we thought we had it all. Yeah. And now look at that puzzle.
It's amazing.
And now we've brought on hundreds of partners. And it's like we've now just created a frame of a 1,000-piece puzzle that we're just getting started putting pieces together. And you know how much fun that is, and really how gratifying that is that we've been able to bring so many great people in that were friends, they were peers, competitors, and now we're all part of one big family.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very exciting to see where this goes from here.
Yeah, so I say we're just getting started all the time, and you give me a hard time about that.
In a good way.
In a good way. I really believe it, don't you?
Yeah, and I want a T-shirt that says that. We're just getting started because at the end of the day, we are. I mean, if you look at all the great people we brought on, we are just getting started.
Yeah.
Bringing them together, best practices, leveraging all the experiences we all bring to the table. Everybody's got a wealth of knowledge, and we can bring that, as A.C. Chapman said a long time ago, bring people around to the campfire. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And how much we can accomplish together.
Yeah, so it is amazing as we've been traveling around the country, and you know, I mean, we've been grinding, just flying around the country, spent a lot of time seeing a lot of different offices. And it's amazing how many things people do exactly the same, how many things people do a little bit differently, and how much desire there is to do more. Really, this kind of idea is we've got all these pieces of the puzzle, like you're talking about. Now we get to sit down and put them together, and we got this opportunity to really accelerate our growth and our opportunity to serve more people. But it's really about doing just a little bit more. It's one of the things that, you know, I talk about a lot with our partners. One of the things I don't want to do is let you down. I don't want to let our other great partners down. And so it's like, I got to do a little bit more every day. And that's really been like your philosophy. I mean, since we became partners, I remember you talking about like, what if you do just a little bit more? Where did that come from?
You know, it's interesting you say that because it brings back memories. 1989, I'll go back to when I first started selling insurance in the field. And the old adage back then was we had no lead programs. Mike and I, my brother-in-law Mike Wingate, our other partner way back in the days, still our partner, and we'd go out and knock doors. And the old adage, you knock on X amount of doors, you get an X amount of houses, give X amount of presentations, and you do X amount of sales. And you do that, and if you had a bad week, we'd look at that and say, well, why'd you only knock on half the doors this week?
Right.
Okay, that means we saw half the amount of people, we gave half the amount of presentations. Or if we wanted to do better or try to make more, knock on a few more doors. Yeah. So we always have this role, or goal, I should say, is we need to give 4 interviews a day. That's 20 a week, and we do our best to hit those goals every week. Well, if I wanted to make, 25% more, I need to get in 25 houses. So if
Yeah.
I could do one more interview a day, that would be it. I knew I could increase my income, I could help more people and grow. And that's what we did. And the numbers don't lie. So today, as we look at all of our partners, if everyone just did one more thing a day,
Yeah.
it's 5 to 5 and everybody wants to leave, but okay, if I can get this one more thing done, that's one less thing I have to do tomorrow, but it also got us ahead of what we're trying to accomplish. And so I think the parameters are very similar all the way around if we all can just do just a little bit more.
Yeah, so if you think about just kind of staying on that track, if you do just one more a day, right? So, there's, call it 50 weeks a year, 5 days a week. So you got to really kind of boil it down. There's 52 weeks in a year, right? But you go on vacation, you take time off for the holidays. So you take that down to 50, just to simplify the math, and you add one more a day. It doesn't sound like that much. It's really not that big of a deal, but you put in that just extra effort, that extra call, and then all of a sudden, after over a year, that's 250 more chances at bat, right? It's 250 more opportunities for you to serve more people. That's the idea of compounding, right? The whole compound effect of whether it's wealth, whether it's activity, whether it's you're trying to play basketball and you're trying to go out and shoot. That's why Kobe Bryant and so many others were so great, is because they would just go out there and they just knew, I'm going to put in one more hour than you. And that over time, that compounding effect in sales, like the example you just gave, that's 250 more chances. And if I know I can close half of those, it's 125 more lives I'm going to help. And you talk about that increases your income, increases everything. And people can do this regardless of what their role is. If they're entering in commission statements, if they just did just a little bit more every day. And that a little bit more doesn't feel like that much, but man, the impact over time. I think one of the reasons that you've been so successful, and one of the reasons that we've been so successful, because that's been kind of something we've talked about forever with the marketers here, Premier, with the different opportunities, is like, what if we just did just a little bit more, guys? You can do just a little bit more. And then here's the reward for that, right?
Yeah, I think that's what the 1%ers do, is they just do a little bit more. I was watching this documentary on Netflix. I think it's called The Last Swing. It's on the pro golfers. But it's amazing how they come off the course. They don't just go home or go to take a shower. They go right to the practice green. Or they go right to the range, and they're already working on trying to fix, they think they saw an issue during those 18 holes or 36 holes they just played. They're trying to better themselves without just, checking out for the day and going about their merry ways. And I think if we all could just do the 1% more, whether it's in sales, 1 extra call a day, 5 extra calls a day, call that agent, bring some value to that phone call. What can we do to help grow your business? Not just say, hello, Bryan, how's it going today? But if we could help you do this, what could that mean out there? And for all of our administrative staff, team members, and everything, if we could get one more thing done today, that alleviates everything for tomorrow. And we have over 6,000 employees, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, do that 1 extra day. That's 6,000 more things we did today, and do that over a 52-week period. I know your math's smarter than mine, because I'll never figure that amount out.
It's a big number.
It's a big number.
Huge.
And then just think if we did that year after year, the compounding effect that would have.
And that you said something really impactful, that's what the 1%ers do. That's what the people who are, if you're one of the best in, look, basketball, that example, I mean, you've got to have some God-given talent. Yeah. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and I got a chance to meet Shaq, the largest human I've ever met in my life. But so there's like God-given talent there that you just can't argue with. But then you look at some of these other people I love the story this year about Brock Purdy with the 49ers. I mean, he was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last guy picked. And, he was just always ready to do a little bit more.
Yeah, and that is an amazing story for someone who people kind of laughed at.
Yeah.
All of a sudden led his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And came out of nowhere. An unfortunate injury hit him. And that'll be interesting for him as he goes through rehab. Just imagine his mindset now going forward.
It's like, now I can do it. I know I can do it. and he's going to do just a little bit more, and he's going to prove that he can do it. And yeah, I watched the dunk contest. Did you watch the NBA dunk contest? Mac McClung. So he played at Texas Tech, where I went.
Okay.
The guy is insanely talented, but like nobody even knew who the guy was when he walked in there. And then people are now saying he saved the dunk contest. Can you, like, so you've got all these people who, like, the reality is there's so many talented people in the NBA. My kids are playing basketball right now, so I've got a lot of basketball analogies. But so there's all these really talented people in basketball, all these really high-paid superstars that are like, it's not worth my time. He got paid $100,000 to go and dunk a basketball. Like, can you imagine that? First of all, if I could dunk, I'd go out and try it. But most of those guys were like, it's not worth my time, man. It's not worth my time. But for him, he's like, let me show up. And so he showed up and showed out. And now you got like LeBron, you got Steph Curry, you got Shaq. You have all these guys saying, this guy may have just saved the dunk contest. And it was amazing, but that was his. So now you sit back and you go, dude, I want to root for that guy. Because people want to root for the guys who do just a little bit more.
Exactly. That worked very hard. And I go back to what you said. You said, none of us want to let our other partners down.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of it started right here at Premier, you and I and Mike. And we want to make sure we always are held accountable. We always are doing the best that we can, not only to grow, but to make sure we have the best work environment for our staff. We can provide a lot of great outreach to the community out here, things we can do to make lives better. And if all of us can come together with one main goal of growing, creating just almost a better humanity out here for all of us. Yeah. Imagine the impact we can make in the cities all over the United States. So I challenge all the companies out there, all of our partners, call each other, reach out, ask for best practices. What's cool about all coming together, we can share our so-called secret sauce.
Yeah.
And right now we have an integrity secret sauce sometimes I think is untapped that we can leverage. And I think we are, but I think we can leverage even down to smaller partners and have them even reach down to some of their agents and agencies and say, listen, how do we get them from writing 10 apps to 12?
Yeah.
How do we go from 50 to 62? And by helping that, imagine just, we all know this, if every agent would write one more app a year, what's an extra 400,000 to 500,000 apps?
It's amazing.
What if they write two?
Yeah.
That's it. All we're asking an agent to go out and see one more person. And how do we help give them the tools to do that?
Yeah, look, I think there's so much you can dig into that. I think the opportunity that we've seen, and part of like flying around the country and seeing other offices, is just like, let's start talking more about what are you doing that's doing, just going that extra degree. And then this opportunity is like, how do we all help with that? How do we look for the next opportunity? The other part I think you brought up, which some that you and I are both really passionate about, is, you know, making sure that we have the best work environment ever, making sure our team, our employees are taken care of. The idea that we had on employee ownership was a really novel idea at the time. And I remember when we went to the board and said, hey, this is what we want to do. In fact, we want to do this. And there was some resistance on that. I remember I said, then we'll do it ourselves. And you go, I'm in. And then Steve Young was like, does this really mean that much to you? And we're like, listen, it can't be about us. It's got to be about our entire team. We've got to all come together. And if we can do that, we can truly serve more people together than ever before. And man, that impact has been huge. The benefits that we offer, the health benefits and the impact that we've had there, and just kind of how we've continued to advance from where we were as small companies to a large company, and providing better benefits and hearing the stories about people who had, you know, big health issues and because of the health insurance they were taken great care of, or even our retirement planning. You were a big promoter of this a long time ago. I remember you saying, I want every person one day when they retire to go, man, I worked for a great company and I had a great retirement plan. And so if you think about, you know, the retirement plans that we offer now, the life insurance, it's been hard. The last couple of months, we've lost some really amazing people in the Integrity family. But the life insurance, you know, that we provide as a company has really been about how do we do more? How do we do just a little bit more? And the impact that'll have on their family and just the comfort we all have from that. And then service in communities has been something I know you've always been passionate about. And really for me and all of us here, it's been something we really said we're going to double down on. It's one of our core values of service. And we're going to give everybody paid time off to go and serve in their community and look at how to do that. I think Premier has been such a great leader for so long with what you guys have done with Make-A-Wish, with United Way, with the Briggs and Barrett Foundation, which is a baby monitor with little babies that detects if they have SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And that's been such a great story and part of what we've done. But giving every employee paid time off, if you think about the number of employees, if you said, listen, for every one of you, out of 6,000 people, we're going to give you all 2 days off to go just serve in your community. We'll pay you to do that. You think about what that impact is. It's 12,000 days, but if you start thinking about hours, that's 12,000 times 8. And you just start thinking about the impact that you can start having within communities of us saying, let's just go serve together. And I know you guys have probably done that as well or better than anybody else, way better than we've done in Dallas, frankly, because you've been such a great leader on that. And that's part of, as you said, we have this obligation, I think, not only to work hard for our partners and for each other, but also this obligation to give back to our communities. And where does that passion come from you?
I would say for me anyway, just watching my parents growing up. We didn't grow up with a lot. We raised 6 kids, but they volunteered all the time. They were always out there doing something, whether for the community, for the church, for neighbors, and just things like that. So, it doesn't take a lot. And if you think about it, you spend 1 hour, that's probably going to snowball into 10 hours.
Yeah.
Of something positive happening out there. So like you said, 96,000 hours, and then take it times the 10% rule and on what happens, think of that's almost 1 million hours of something out there and what's going to happen. And, and I think it goes back to our team here. One thing I always remember way back in the day when you and I and Mike would come back from some meetings, and Pat Moore, our former Vice P of Operations, she would say, you guys, just stay awake. When you come back, you got all these ideas, and all you do is create chaos. But it's our team out here that took the chaos we created and made something out of it. Yeah. I will always defer a lot of credit to everyone in our office, from sales to management to IT, administrative, Matt and supply area, and everything, commissions. It's like, that's the backbone of the company. Yeah. That's the true face of who we are in every community where our partners are at. Mm-hmm. And when we can take that and then open it up to their wants, their needs, how do we empower them? How do we take ideas they have in the community is go out and serve people this year? It's very impactful. It's impactful in the whole office because others get to see others doing the same thing. And guess what? People feed off that. And it becomes very impactful. And when you see people and you see the notes and all the great things in direction, it's very humbling. And I think that's the key, is humility is a great thing with success. With success is staying humble. And when you stay humble, success will continue to come.
Yeah, I can't agree more. So it is humbling to think about what we've created. The ideas that we had, challenges that we had of people saying, you can't do it. And we're like, hold my beer and watch this. There was a little bit of probably a chip on our shoulder to say, why not us? Like, there's this opportunity if we all came together that we could all accomplish more. And it's humbling to see where we were, where we are, but now thinking about where we're going. What excites you the most about where we're going from here?
I'm going to go back to one thing you used to say a lot. Once we started doing some of this is, let's create our own blue ocean.
Yeah.
And so the way I look at it right now, we got the red ocean out here of everyone fighting, and now we've created our own blue ocean with all of our partners. And we're moving forward without any issues. There's no one there bucking us. Is we can go out there, we can serve people, and we're truly just scratching. Because right now, I think everyone's looking at, how are they able to do this? How are they able to bring these groups together and provide best practices, provide tremendous technology. And at the end of the day, what are we doing? We're serving people. We're serving Americans out here We're helping them prepare for life. You know, I heard the quote, you know, after Jay had passed, is life is not a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
I mean, that has stuck in my mind. And it truly is that way. It's not a dress rehearsal. Yeah. It's true things that happen today, the good and the bad and everything in between. And how can we make a difference out there? Not only serving people with insurance products, investments, but volunteering, the workplace, everything we can do, because life is very important. Why we're here on this earth, and you know, we only get one chance at it.
It's interesting. So where that came from was when I called Egon Durbin at Silver Lake and said, "Hey, I need to let you know Jay passed." He said, "Man, life is not a dress rehearsal," and that stuck with me. It's kind of haunted me in some regards. That you said back, and I presume it's haunting him, to say, "Man, what am I doing? Like, what are we doing today to do even more for humanity in so many different ways?" And I think that we are just scratching the surface. I think the opportunity that we've got in the blue ocean, where unlimited opportunity exists for you to find new ways to innovate and serve others, is just beginning. We're just kind of getting into open water on that. And I'm super passionate about the opportunity we've got. And I'm thankful for the opportunity you gave me. So in 2003, whenever you and I were talking, I was working for a carrier, and you and I were talking, and you go, "Man, I just wish Mike and I had another partner that could help us with this. And I just wish we could figure this out, because we're trying to, you know, do these other things as well." And I said, "Why not me? What about me?" And you were like, "Dude, that not sure that would work very well."
I think I said, "Would you like to come over to the dark side?"
And then you go, so then you were like, "Dude, I don't know about that." And so the next day you called in, you go, "Hey, do you want to come over the other side?" And I was like, "No, I'm in." And the chance that you and Mike, as brother-in-laws, let me come in to your family, to let me come in onto this side of the business. And I'll never forget, and certainly owe you and Mike so much for the opportunity that you gave me to believe in me to come and join your family. And that's something that I think it's something I'm passionate about, is how do we invite more people in to join this family? Because you all were so welcoming. And if you think about just my life trajectory, I mean, it changed my family's life, my grandkids' life. I also think it's probably had a pretty big impact on the industry, of the opportunity that we all recognized and said, let's stop messing around in this red ocean where we're all beating each other up and go out and create our own blue ocean. And it's been impactful, man. So thank you for the opportunity. And I'm committed to doing just a little bit more, because I know the opportunity we have if we do that. So thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
I want to say one thing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking that leap of faith, because it is different. It's different for all of us that have been in one side and you come into the other side, which can be a little scary. And another phrase I heard is something that could be conquering your fears.
Yeah.
And what we've been able to do, and the way you challenged Mike and I back in the day in different ways of doing things, really pushed all of us, the three of us together. What can we do as a whole when we have just the one puzzle? That was just us. That was it. We had Premier, Senior Marketing, and that was the puzzle. But now look at it. And the leadership you've taken on, you've taken us to other levels, which have been absolutely, I would never imagine this back in 16.
Yeah.
But now I imagine even greater things.
Yeah.
We used to say we're just getting to the runway. I don't even know if we're even ready to take off yet.
Yeah.
I just think we're just still putting so many pieces of the puzzle together, and we have a huge puzzle to put together. And collectively, the power of the partners we have today and the amount of great people in all their offices, the sky truly is the limit. And we're in a huge blue ocean right now. And if we do what we know we can do, successes will be imaginable, not only for the business side of things, but just for people. All of our employees, all of our staff, our team members, the people we can volunteer in communities with, but everybody we can touch, we can leave a lasting effect on.
Absolutely. I'm excited about that. We're committed to that. And I think more than ever, we've got such an amazing team. You think about all the partners we brought together, all the amazing industry icons. Never before, I don't think, have I been more excited of going, we actually have the puzzle together. Let's go do it. And let's do it all. Let's build a great business. Let's take care of people. Let's look at our communities. Let's look at everything and try to make the biggest impact that we can because life isn't a dress rehearsal, and you get one chance at this, and we should have the biggest impact as we can. And that's what I'm super passionate about, as I know you are. And I do think we're just getting started. And so thanks again for letting us be here today. I'm so excited to see everybody and spend time in the office with all of the Premier family. And I can't wait to see kind of where we go from here. So thanks everybody for joining today's Inspire podcast. I'm so excited to share it with my partner, my friend, my brother, Tom, and can't wait to see where we go from here. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Many more of these in the future.
I love it, man. It's
Love
going to be
you,
awesome, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Love
you. Take care.